We are always talking about absent or present fathers, but do we ever have conversations about the father in between?
Parenting. Let's talk about this.
Being a parent is about godliness.
I find so much of myself through parenting.
There is no formula of raising a child.
Hello, this is Panti on the left.
I think having a good support structure makes it all worth it.
Dumela Africa Borwa, lebitso ke Karabo Motiri here to bring you another episode of Ask a Parent. In today's episode, we're sitting with our guest psychologist, Anele Siswana, our guest Mami Pindile Masuku, and our guest Daddy Umaitele Wawe. Anele, how can we define what an absent present father is?
To try and break it down, I'll basically say an absent father is someone who is physically and emotionally absent, right? That's one aspect of it. Absent present, it could be that I'm physically there, but not emotionally present in the life of my child, or I can be present by virtue of what I do as a parent, or as a father, in a sense that I provide the basic of what the child wants, the school fees, the money, and everything that a child needs, but I'm not present psychologically in the life or the formation of the child. So that's the definition that I can give. But at the same time, also this is a social construct that, especially in the Black community, the issue of absent fathers, it's dominant. That it's so normalized when the father is not there. But that, no, eventually, this is the normal narrative. It's in essence, you fell pregnant.
Yeah.
So it's your problem.
Yeah.
So deal with it.
Yeah. What do you think just plays a big role in that? Is this just this stereotypical masculinity in terms of defining parenting roles to say the father's role is just to provide? Has society just defined this is what a dad does, just provide and that's it? You don't have to get involved with anything else.
That part of masculinity is an excuse. It's a social construct. Again, we've created that norm that you should be a provider. But that provider is more of a transactional relationship, that you can give the child what they want, but you don't participate. And again, that's a wrong way of doing it. However, social, cultural, meaningful explanation of it says you are a father, you're a provider that is available and present, that you are not just giving the money, but you're giving reference of what it means to be a father to this child. Whether you are still dating or not with the mother or you're not, but that role is not entirely heavily or lying on the fact that we should be together as couples or as parents. I can participate in that role with or without that. So all of these other social constructs misconstrue the way we understand how to be a father and how to do fatherhood. Yeah. Because those are two different things.
For me, more than anything, it has to start here. You know, there's a lot of people who became fathers by default. Well, they didn't want to be fathers, but now they are. And so, hey, right? And so, like he's saying, there's a lot of excuses that come with, but as a guy, this is what's expected, you know? But I really think it starts with the fact that, well, are you appreciating and are you accepting that you are now a father and you have to play the role of a father? And so from there, then the love comes in. I love my child. And so, which means I want to be there for my child. I want to provide. I want to this and this and that. And we have a lot of fathers who can't, provide because their family didn't come and show whatever, they didn't come and pay damages or lobola or whatsoever. But you find that most of, the people that are out there just, I think, really are not so sure if whether this is what they want or this is what they need to do. And for me, it's like, I love my kids. I've got 2 boys, one is 7, one is 2. And unfortunately, I can't stay with any of them because of such circumstances. And so any chance I get, I want to spend time with them. Even if you don't have money, like that does not take away anything.
You're still a father.
Yes, your baby is your baby. You're a father.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cindy, how have you experienced this? What have you seen on your own parenting journey or the parenting journey of your friends and families, and just in terms of this?
Yeah, I think when my child, I planned him, and selfishly
to the T.
You know, like I think my experience is very, very different, because then I selfishly planned him at a certain age, and whoever was my partner then was just gonna have to ride along. And I think being pregnant prepared me. The guy's not pregnant.
Yeah.
He feels nothing. There's no, the connection is very different. And I think that's why for women, it's like you birth this thing and then emotions kick in, and all of a sudden it's natural.
Yeah, the mommy instinct just...
Yeah, you know how to love it, you know how to treat it. Things just come, even though you didn't have them before. But just things happen to you and they prepare you, and you're able to go through this journey. Where a guy, it's so different for him, you know, he has to catch on, or whatever you teach him, or whatever you expect from him, you know. And mostly these boys aren't raised with fathers. They don't know how to act. They don't know what to do.
They don't know what fatherhood looks like.
Yeah. So what must they do with this piece of thing now? So it's like later on, I think that's where we get stuck. Like later on, when the child can talk and can walk, I'll be involved. That's when they then kick in, who like, he can understand me now. Now I can teach him.
Let's chat about that. Yeah. Just the element of just mental and emotional readiness from just the father's side, because I think Upindi raises an important, because we form a bond with this human being for so long, and the instinct does kick, like it happened for me and it happened for a lot of moms. So are we as women selfishly expecting the guys to go through the same thing?
I think as a dad, sorry, can I just go back to that? As a dad, are you accepting that you are now a father? I remember my girlfriend got a job maybe like a year after our baby was like, just 1 year after, right? The baby was born. And then, so at that time, a split month, you know, thing happened where I had to take care of the baby the whole entire time. I cried. For real. Because it's like, oh my God, this is actually not fun. This is tough. It can be fun in bits and pieces of the day. Yeah. But the whole day...
It's overwhelming.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Without just talking about deadbeat dads and just dads that are just completely not there. Just looking at a dad that's there just for the money, but emotionally they're not there. What then does that create in a child psychologically and emotionally?
A boy, the way they are so aggressive and need the father is different than how a girl displays that. I've seen it in my family, how my aunts and friends in my circles, who the kids don't know their fathers. For girls, it's minimized, that you don't need this person. But for when it's a boy, it's even worse in my culture as a Xhosa person. When it's time for initiation school, that becomes extremely intensified, and that child feels the need of the father. They don't mind about the emotional stuff, but the physical presence of my father is an embodiment of who am I in relation to the practice. But for a girl, all you can do without him.
You don't need him.
You don't need him. And then also it creates further issues later in life.
That they aren't aware of.
For that which they even never had at some point. And then a child, desperately so, looks for this figure that was never fully involved in what they...
That's an amazing point.
Yeah.
I think girls also have a role in this, like the mom.
Yeah.
How involved are we making them, and what do you want? What's the expectations, you know? I was very protective of my child, and to a point where if the father has him like instructing him, hold it like this, and don't do this, don't do that. At the end of the day, they don't know. Okay, so you do it. You handle it. Okay, what do you want? I'll go get the nappies.
Yeah.
They become a financial, whereas they don't have time to figure it out because I also made mistakes, but no one was watching. But now because I figured it out, I expect him also to just know and also with the child, it's like careful this. So mom is more careful. Whereas we don't allow them that relationship. Like you had a month, it's not normal. It's unheard of. Instead, you would have gotten an Aussie or a nanny or someone to actually look after the child because that girl entrusted you. So the woman's side as well, entrust him more than the finances to say, okay, fine, figure it out.
Yeah.
He's gonna pee, I don't know, you'll figure it out. I mean, I came back once, the nappy was flipped, but he's alive.
Yes.
He's alive, the baby's alive, they're both alive, it's okay. So like, let's allow him that opportunity, the guy, to be with the child and bond and know the child differently, above the finances.
I think you're raising an important point about how us as women are actually perpetuating the stereotype of what a man is like.
Yeah.
Because for one, we don't, like you say, we don't communicate what the expectation is. We don't define what your role is to say, listen, we've got this child, yes, I'm breastfeeding the child, but you can also burp the child.
Yeah.
So you can also be an active part. Because I understand the insecurities that come with it. Because I was also the same. Like when he wanted to bath the baby, when the baby was a couple of days old, you're like, oh my gosh, like he's gonna drown the baby. Yeah. So you don't give him the freedom.
Yes.
You don't give him the freedom to be a father.
The person on what it is or how to participate in the process.
Yes.
So they feel like they don't have to be a part of it. Like, oh, you got this.
There are things that men can't do, honestly, when it comes into that. So you can say, okay, when I'm bathing the child, you can help me do this.
Yeah.
And not actually alienate them. But then what do you do in the case where this guy is not present at all? He's not physically there, but then now it says, okay, I would love to have my baby over. So, and again, you've got a structured way of how you have raised your child or how you want this child to be. And this guy does have no clue
where to even
of
start.
how to even start. And it just goes back to the small, finest things of capacitating this person who just doesn't know what to do with this beautiful thing. With women who have issues with their boyfriends or their partners, they limit that relationship.
Yes.
Actually, they cut them out.
Yes.
And I always say, there's nothing wrong with you dealing with your issues alone.
Yeah.
But give the child a chance to choose for himself or herself.
But that also,
I would ideally like, you deal with your drama, but don't deny me an opportunity to be with my father. Because we have a different defined father and daughter or son relationship. Yours didn't work out, don't involve.
Yes, that relates back to Pindi's point to say us as women should also be held accountable for the role that we
play a big part, because then it's the child is actually looking to you. Even if the father is not active and whatever, I always thought like I'll paint him as a hero. He'll always be a hero. I'll tell him stories. A child is so gullible, he'll believe everything I am saying. Because watch out, this child grows up, whether the father was there or not, all of a sudden they've got a good relationship and you've always been around. You get what I'm saying? So you can mold that relationship with lives of a Superman and a Spider-Man. That's your dad. He's a hero. And then later on they will find each other. Because it's about the baby. At the end of the day, don't be selfish and say, and now all of a sudden,
we fight our relationship goals through children.
Make him a hero. Whether the father is there or not, the father always has to be a hero, because especially if you're raising a boy, it will always come back and they'll find each other. And then all of a sudden they love each other. Yes, they need a Superman so that they don't look for it in older men out there that will promise them the world, you know? So it's always molding the child. I think a woman has such a big role to play. And even if you have such a distant guy that you formed this creature with, you have control, I think, of molding and changing the society and what's the perceptions of what's a good dad, what's a bad dad, you know? And then they go into society knowing better. And then when they see bad, they know this is not how I'm supposed to be treated, you know? My dad would do this and this because of what mommy said. And if she never experiences it, it's in the head, it's stuck. I know, you know? There's nothing that will come and contradict that.
Mighty, how does the limited access to your kids affect you as a man in terms of what you have defined as your parenting role for your kids, just not being able to see them so often? Do you ever wonder what they're thinking about you when you're not there?
Well, because of experience, I mean, I didn't stay with my mom until I was 18. But I've stayed with like 3 or 4 stepmoms, that had their own kids as well. And then I moved from that. I stayed with my grandparents individually, my granddad, and then my grandmother after. So I went through a lot of stages of understanding what it is to be a child, what it is to be a child in a house, in a home, what it is to be a child that's loved. All those things. I had to go through all that stuff. And now, because I'm older and I've got my own kids, I understand that whatever needs to happen will happen. You can't change anything about life and how life is supposed to go. I had a child when I was very young. My mom was like, no, I do not accept this. No, period. She was like, no. So there was no, and those people were very straight. They came to the house. They, spoke about the fact that, this guy did this. And after the baby was born, they came again to say, baby's born now, and we're just letting you know. And so my family didn't do anything, and that really made those people mad. But for me, it was good because I used to go all the time. And so the granddad, before he died, he said to me, don't stop coming to see your child. You are not your family. You love your child.
It's your own journey.
Family is not accepting the child right now. It's fine. And so right now, all I know is that things will get better because I am going to make things better.
Going to make the effort.
I want to, get to a point where I'm like, okay, guys, thank you for taking care of my kids. I want to stay with my kids now. I can do this.
So I think in reality, parenting looks different in different households. So I think as partners also, we need to clearly communicate what our expectations are to the other partner. If you're a mom, to your dad, to the dad, to say, this is what we expect you to do, and this is how I think you can be an active part of the journey, just to avoid children being affected and being damaged in the long run, because we play a very active role in shaping the kind of kids that we want to see in the future. So we'd also love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Follow us on OscarParent_ZA. Comment down below and share your thoughts and experiences with us. See you next time.